our Bibles, in John chapter 4, verse 22, Jesus says to a Samaritan woman, "Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews." Jesus is speaking here from the context of being a Jew, and he says that salvation is of the Jews, a people who were intensely monotheistic and had no concept of the Trinity. They couldn't have such a concept, as no such idea exists in their scriptures. The Trinitarian idea, in fact, came a lot later. It developed from around the 4th to the 6th centuries AD. The word Trinity is not to be found in the Bible, and the phrases that define the Trinity do not come from the Bible. Let's go back to John chapter 4, verse 22 for a moment. Jesus says there, "We know what we worship." And that is an important statement. The Old Testament descriptions of God on which the Jewish beliefs were based are easy to understand. They don't tell us that God is three in one. They tell us that there is one God. But what about the Athanasian Creed, which is a definition of the Trinity, which is widely used by the churches? We can find a translation of this in Wikipedia, and the Athanasian Creed ends there by saying, "Which, except a man believe truly and firmly, he cannot be saved." It's important to understand what this creed is saying. It is saying that the Trinity is mandated for salvation. But there is a question here. Is it actually possible to believe this creed? Is it possible to believe the Trinity? And that may seem a very silly question. But let's have a look at the next slide and ask ourselves if we believe what we see on the screen. So, do you believe it? If you don't understand Russian, the best that you can say is that you don't know. You can't honestly state that you believe it or that you don't believe it, because you don't know what it's saying. What it's saying might be true or it might not. You don't know. And let's go to our next slide. These again from Wikipedia, from an English translation of the Athanasian Creed. And we have here some phrases. "Of a reasonable soul and human flesh subsisting, neither confounding the persons, nor dividing the essence. One altogether, not by confusion of substance, but by unity of person." Can you honestly say that you understand these phrases? This could create something of a crisis of faith for you. As an intelligent person, you must realize that you cannot be confident that you believe something if its meaning is a mystery to you. In the Bible verse that we looked at earlier, Jesus, speaking as a Jew, said, "We know what we worship." The Jews' understanding of God was simple. Here we have a quotation from Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." It tells us the Lord is one Lord. It doesn't say three in one. That never comes anywhere in the Bible, in the Old or the New Testaments. In conclusion, there is one other point to make from John chapter 4, verse 22. Jesus says, "We know what we worship." He doesn't say they. He counts himself as one who worships God. Think about it. Does the concept of God worshipping God make sense? This verse implies very strongly that Jesus is not God. Otherwise, the verse doesn't make sense. And so you have a choice: a religion that doesn't make sense, or one that does. I would request you to think about this and to have a look at others of our videos on this site to see if you can find here the religion that makes sense. Thank you for your attention.